Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
Oh, and we're here talking Treasure Buddies this week.
I can't believe we thought this movie was going to be about pirates.
I wish it was.
So do I. But it's not. So you want to find out what it's about, stay tuned to this podcast. Don't turn that dial.
All right. Turn up the air conditioning? Dials.
To open the tune.
Yeah. Don't press the tune button to go to the next closest FM radio station.
Yikes.
Excuse me. All right, let's do this. Thanks for being here with us, you guys. As we continue towards the end of our buddy's journey, we only have a few more. Only a few more after this. It's been wild.
How is it possible?
There's still more. If you guys are excited about what we've been doing and want to, talk about your love for the buddies or talk about, anything else we have coming up, Eliz, where can people reach out?
You can send us an email at sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
Love for the buddies. And rate, review us wherever you're listening. If that is something with a tune button, I don't know how you'll do that. But otherwise,
Morse
feeds.
code.
Yeah, Morse code. Go get onto AM radio. There's some good stuff being talked about over there.
Is there?
No. Yeah, rate and review us.
Yeah, do it. We love it. We love all the stars. Even when they
stars are back.
Even when they guide us to treasure in the sands.
Yeah.
We are excited to be talking Treasure Buddies this week. And you know what? We may as well just get right into it right this second.
Wonder Woman.
For over 3,000 years, man has searched the earth for untold treasure.
Told.
With riches beyond the imagination. Now, an incredible quest will lead 5 intrepid explorers to the greatest fortune in the desert.
Desert? I thought you said dessert.
Butterball.
From the creators of Santa Buddies, Disney's Treasure Buddies, an all-new movie premiering on Disney Blu-ray and DVD.
All this digging is making me hungry.
Look, that whole trailer just goes to show you how big Santa Buddies was. They don't even say from the creators of Air Buddies or Air Bud. They say Santa Buddies. Also, you couldn't hear this in the trailer, but the trailer starts out with like an image of the Disney, logo castle and everything on the sand dunes, and then it like disappears like a mirage. So cool, you guys. It was so cool.
Oh my god.
Well, this is good old 2012, year of the Mayan calendar's disaster. Instead, we get this.
And I'm going to say it. So we get this. I think they were right.
I wish they were.
I think the Mayans were right. I think
We wanted it to be about pirates.
We really did.
It's about
I wish it was about pirates so much.
It's not even really like there is some Indiana Jones stuff in here, but it's really not even much of that. It's just a lot of Egypt stuff.
And I was like, if there's any franchise that I think could handle the tiptoeing around of delicate nature of the Middle East, it was the Air Buddies. It was the Air Buddies. Air Buddies franchise.
It was the franchise that tricked Rocket Man with the Bible.
Oh boy. So we start in Fernfield, right? Or
no,
we start with a flashback.
Start with a flashback. No, sorry. We start with the framing device
of
Babu
Jesus.
telling Bobby.
We start with some monkeys.
Yep. We start with monkeys, whose mouth animation's not as good as the buddies.
No.
Look, the studio had some monkeys. They shoved one into Spooky Buddies as a test drive, as they often do with these, and they were like, all right, that turned out well. Let's put 2 in the next movie.
We need a monkey that can hold a banana, wield a knife, and also like make goofy faces, I guess.
I mean, knife and banana, same deal.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's true.
At least that's what I teach at my stabbing school, where we use prop bananas.
But we get the main monkey, Bobby.
Bobby.
Is his name, because it's Bobby and Babu, right?
I forget which one is which.
I think Bobby is the one who's kind of narrating
It's
the whole
me,
movie.
Bobby. Yeah. There's lots of that.
Voiced by
Thank you for
Jonathan
playing my
from voiced by Jonathan from 30 Rock.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
an Indian person.
Yes, that was again. This is the first thing I go to do and see like who voiced these.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
please. Well, because the accents are so like over the top.
So I do think a lot of like the background performers and especially like the dancers and people like performing and stuff, a lot of them may have been of Egyptian descent or at least of like Arab descent.
Yeah.
There is a large Egyptian, population that has immigrated to Canada over the years. And so and Vancouver is actually like, one of the big central spots for them. But so, yeah, I think they had some people, but not like none of the main people. Like the two main dudes who go on the expedition with them.
The henchmen.
The henchmen.
The two henchmen. Like one of them's Italian and one of them's
Yeah.
like white and Lebanese. Which I'm like, well. But okay, so what year is it? 2012?
2012.
This is before our collective like racial reckoning about these things. Like obviously they should have known better, but at this point you're still getting like a huge wave of dudes that are just like, and women who are ethnically ambiguous and can kind of play anything. Those people were still in their heyday, and I don't begrudge them for taking the check or whatever. But even now, you wouldn't like get quite that far away from it.
Yeah.
Like they would have to at least be of some sort of relevant descent.
They had enough people to fill about one town.
Although I will say, like, either it was left over from some episode of Smallville or one of the DC shows, but they really did have quite a lot of like pyramid looking Egypt village like sets. I mean, it looked like being at Walt Disney's Hollywood Studios or whatever, but it was still a thing, which is way more than we
I was originally kind of like, are we ever gonna leave this town? Like this is all the money they have for all the sand and everything, and then later on they're playing like Legends of the Hidden Temple a little bit,
right?
But and in the beginning too. But.
You mentioned the aforementioned reckoning of all this, and I was like, yeah, Aloha was still 3 years away. So
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny.
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah.
Oh god. So Bobby is telling Babu all about how he saved the buddies' lives and
Babu
knows about the buddies.
he's like, oh, you know the buddies?
Yeah, and I was like, how did this guy know about the buddies? But I guess they're like, by the end of the movie,
They're famous. Well,
treasure hunters.
Air Bud was the MVP of the World Series.
That's true. They never talk about that anymore.
They don't.
Also, like, there's a weird. Okay, so we learn who their great grandfather was.
Yeah.
Is it great grandfather or is it
No,
grandfather?
I think it's their grandfather. They said.
Okay, well,
maybe it doesn't
I
matter.
guess it would make sense.
Yeah, it would be
It
like
would
Air
make
Bud's
sense to be
dad.
grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too far off.
It was weird to learn who their grandfather is, but not mention Air Bud at all.
Oh, right.
Not mentioned even once.
Which it makes it so we're saying that Air Bud has mystical powers, I suppose.
Well,
He's one of the descendants of Badusi or Badussi.
Yeah. Badusi, yeah, I think it is.
Which I was like, this word is too close to that horrible slang word that everyone's using.
Wait, what? I thought his name was Digger.
No, that is the sheriff. That is the adventurer's dog.
Yeah, that's the grandfather dog, Digger.
Yeah. But then Cleopatra had a dog in her court
called Badassi.
Badassi.
Okay. Not Badassi. Badassi. I swear to God, that's what it's called. Long before the popular slang term has come out. Oh boy. Don't say the wrong thing.
I mean, even from like the first note of this movie, you already like, oh boy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's just like there's a place in France where you're like, oh god.
It's like this is in the wrong hands.
Yeah. It's like King Tut from Steve Martin or something is like might as well have played.
Yeah. You get wonderful lines like this happening early on in the film.
Hey, you guys. We must have landed in Egypt. It's raining falafel sauce.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Thanks, Butterball. Thanks.
Butterball. Yeah, they really hammer even more down. Like Rosebud literally says like he's gonna Dutch oven us or whatever. And I was like, I tried to look up like what is the origin of that slang term, and I guess it's like not necessarily always like sexual in nature or whatever, but I feel like a lot of people like talk about it in that way.
Oh boy.
So.
It is funny. Okay, so let's set up the whole thing. We learned that
So
they
Dutch
have this. There's a thing called a Dutch oven. We learned that Digger is their grandfather, right? And he was like super adventurer dog with Santa Claus, basically.
Richard Reel.
Yeah.
Richard
Who
Reel.
I think he is giving a more energetic performance somehow.
Yeah.
He really leaned too hard into that Santa Claus had dementia thing that he was doing. Like he leaned too much into that. This one he at least seems like with it.
He played Santa Claus in The
Yep.
Search for Santa Paws.
Okay.
And he had amnesia.
And he had amnesia. There was some elder abuse happening.
he
Oh
got
my
hit-
god, yeah. No, like
He got hit by a cab in New York and
Okay.
then almost died. Santa's
and then
alive
spoke
and
so
well.
slowly that others noticed.
Yes. But he's back to be an adventurer and also grandpa to Peter,
Yes.
who is Butterball? No. Mudbud?
Mudbud. Yeah.
kids.
If we remember, like these kids, as Elisa said many times before, their identities have completely been scrambled.
Yeah, Mudbud kid.
Yeah.
So he was super into like playing Game Boy, and then he learned how to like sometimes go outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
But which is kind of weird because it's like if your grandfather was like this huge explorer anyway, you think you'd be super like, I'm Indiana Jones.
Doesn't
or
make any
whatever.
sense.
Yeah, and like his grandfather still lives there and had a museum this whole time.
Well, there has always been a Fernfield Museum, which I thought was
Yes,
interesting
'cause
that
there was
they
a jewel- there was a
actually-
jewel heist,
Yeah, that they
yeah.
actually like were continuing that thought as a way to get these buddies to Egypt. But I don't know. I'm like, you should have just had them go back in time somehow. Not that we should introduce time travel to this, but then it could have been like somehow less racist,
Right,
because then
yeah.
they would have been like a period piece. And like, okay, yeah, maybe they like.
They're not just
We're-
going around
yeah.
pointing out all the stereotypes.
With
Like,
like
ooh,
everybody,
kebabs and
yeah,
ooh,
living
snake
in-
charmer.
wearing
and,
robes and like.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked up like Bedouins, and yes, it is like a ethnicity or and a tribe or whatever, but like almost none of them like live in tents anymore.
Right.
Like they do it more as like a annual family reunion,
Right,
and we're gonna all
right.
go, and
And
do
they
it.
also house secret agents of the Egyptian government.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I did think it was funny when they like whipped out the laptop and the camera or whatever. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, at least we're acknowledging that like these people like have at least modern technology, but yeah, it's a lot.
Do you think it was interesting for the boy whose dog is Mudbud? I can't what's his name.
Pete.
When
Peter?
Pete, the
Yeah.
boy whose dog was Mudbud. That Pete's parents got replaced by two people from, or at least one person from the space agency.
I did think that was funny. I recognized that guy too. I was like, oh, his dad who has
Well,
no
yeah, because
lines.
he's actually like one of the more successful actors.
Yeah.
Even that he's only like bit parts and things, but yeah, he from the space agency. But we hadn't seen his dad ever.
No.
We had only ever seen the mom being like, "Oh no, it's so dirty."
Dirty.
Yeah.
my
So-
completely white room is ruined.
So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe she was a single mom and married the guy from the space agency.
Okay.
Who knows?
She's a single mom who works 2 jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the original Airbud, Mrs.
The napkin
Fran.
factory?
Yeah, the napkin
Oh, yeah.
factory lady.
Yeah, we know nothing about the
She
napkin
married
factory.
the vet.
Yeah.
So Richard Reel's character, which I found out he was born in Menominee Falls, by the way. It was just like the town right next to where I grew up, which I thought was crazy. But his
So
whole
it's your
life,
fault.
Yeah, his whole life he's been trying to find Queen Cleocatra, Cleocatra's tomb.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's basically like, about to close down the museum, be like, I'm done with this. And then some guy comes out of nowhere, Mr. Wellington, to reveal he's got the other half of some special
Doodad.
This thing had more MacGuffins
What's the
than
thing?
Indiana Jones.
What are the things you're collecting in the Hidden Temple, Legend of the Hidden Temple? You're collecting like the...
medallions? or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, and it's like you have to get the 2 parts of the thing together.
Olmecs medallion.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
basically a cipher or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Guffin number 1.
Yeah. Mac and Guffin.
And so they're gonna all jet off to Egypt. Even Pete is gonna go with them.
Yeah, they're gonna take a small child on the Indiana Jones expedition into a dark.
And they're gonna take a prop plane from the 30s to get there.
They're gonna travel by map, just like the Muppets.
Yeah. And I think Eliz, I think it was you that was like maybe last week hoping that the buddies get in some sort of like shenanigans of like leaving Fernfield, right?
Well, I did say, I wanted it to be more like Snow Buddies so that we wouldn't have to be with all the kids the whole time. And we sort of got it, I mean, they did get to travel somewhere and you only get one kid. So.
And we didn't get the montage of all the kids being like, "Where are the buddies?"
No, we never got to see them being like, "Oh, Like
at this point, they're just like, I don't know."
They probably went with him. Yeah,
they're probably assassinating the president of Paraguay. I guess.
Well, even at some point, the grandfather before Pete realizes that Mudbud is like actually there, he's like, "Oh, I miss him so much," and the grandfather's like, "He's probably having an adventure of his own." At this point, they just know.
But then the kid says something like,
I feel like he's closer.
Yeah. It feels like he's right next to me. The kid. They didn't have a montage of the kids praying to Imhotep.
Yeah.
Bring back my buddies. But they do get in a box of dynamite.
Yeah, explosives.
Oh my god!
And ride the way all the way to the
buddies are crate broken at this point. They know how to travel internationally via crate.
My Google account's gonna be flagged now for googling like, will eating C4 kill a dog?
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Will cause major neurological damage to both dogs and humans.
Nope. The answer is a gnarly fart.
Yeah.
My review on Letterboxd was like, a dog eats C4 in this movie.
I mean, it's not even like generic. It literally says like C4 on giant bricks in there.
I just thought that was crazy that like, cause they keep cutting back to this image of all these puppies with like dynamite around them and then this whole thing about eating the C4. I was like, this is nuts. This is insane. These are the kind of insane things we love on the Sequel Rights Podcast.
Sure.
I mean, I was just thinking someone was going to get arts to...
Yeah. I know. They're not handling those explosives correctly.
Yeah. If anybody's... Obviously, we're talking about Lost, as usual.
As per usual. But they kind of use that as cover to escape from the box without being seen, I guess.
Sure.
The toxic
But why did he have to eat C4? He could have just done a regular fart.
I don't know. What did you think? Like, so which character was it again that got recast in this one? Because Butterball's voice.
It was Butterball.
Okay, I thought his voice was fucked up the entire movie. It just sounded boring. He sounded bored, and also like they recorded him in a different room.
Well, yeah. So
than all the other characters.
Yeah, he's not even credited in the movie, but Nico Giese, who had been previously Butterball, recorded the entire movie, and then they had another actor who had been Butterball in Spooky Buddies,
Right.
who had been Bartleby in Spooky Buddies.
Right.
So they're just like, get the kid that's like kind of chubby and make him re-record Butterball or whatever.
Yeah, I did not care for that performance. Sorry guy. So everyone's like, fucking around this town in Egypt. The kid's kind of like, it was just so weird that the kid was there. I feel like they were acting like he was on like a field trip. Yeah. And like, just kind of like, here, you're here to learn about Egypt and nothing's scary or anything. Like, it's just normal. Yeah. Check this out.
Well, and this is like no, that's not true. The original, what was his name? Kevin Fram? No, Kevin Zegers. Josh Fram. Yeah. Josh Fram had his little romance with what's her face, the British girl.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've never been, somehow miraculously, we have not been put through any like child romances.
Yes.
Until this sort of thing now, where he's like, "Oh, look, a brown girl. How interesting."
I know. As soon as he sees her, the music changes. Like, romance is a blossoming.
Oh God.
I was happy that we didn't get Mudbud like doing things to like help him court her.
Oh, thank God. No.
That was when that happened. I was like, oh God, like we're gonna have to deal with this whole thing.
Like they're too young.
Yeah.
They're too young.
I just don't know, like There's so many things that were written into this movie that you're just like, why? It was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, you have this Indiana Jones thing. You don't also then need to be like, oh, we're also going to tackle slavery and like Bedouin people and like, the Egyptian government and freaking, this belongs in a museum and like all these issues.
This movie was weirdly for me like the most educational oriented of the films, like because they keep stopping the dialogue like every 5 seconds to be like, these are the Bedouin people, they live here, da, 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 da. Oh, that's not a regular rainstorm, that's a lightning storm because it's so dry.
Right.
And, oh, this is an oasis, you know why it's here? Well, because back in the day there used to be a river here. And they're like all these like pauses to like educate kids every 5 seconds.
I guess, yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, let's say it's just like the script supervisor got like an Egypt facts book that was like, what if we just put this here too?
Oh, they eat the scarabs.
Well, and I think they probably maybe did it to
Do
try
they?
and show
I don't
some
think
respect.
they do eat the scarabs.
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
Someone just watched fucking Lion King and
Yeah.
was like, oh, gonna have them eat bugs. Ew.
Yeah. Slimy yet satisfying.
So let's take a break to remember what we're doing here. 1 second.
We're going to discover Cleocatra's tomb. Cleopatra's tomb? No, not Cleopatra. Her cat, Cleocatra.
Oh.
Can you imagine you're like a little Bedouin girl and some white boy says to you and you're like, God damn, fucking Americans are stupid.
That would be so funny if they were just like, there's no fucking Cleocatra. What are these idiots talking about? We set that whole thing up as a joke to bring tourists. To bring tourists in.
White lady tourists, cat ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's this whole thing with the, the little cipher thing. They're trying to figure out what's going on. We get the typical, like, this clue leads to this clue, and then it's this and that.
Wait,
and
but
that.
don't forget the pivotal slave auction that we come
Oh,
across.
you're talking about the camels?
Yeah, they literally, I mean, okay, if all of these people or all of these animals have been like sentient and have families and you literally hear this camel going like, no, my family, my mom, and this man sold me. I'm like, oh my God, is this like Roots camel edition, But when that camel spoke, Justin, I know you recognized her right away.
I did. I didn't take any clips because her voice is too annoying, unfortunately. But it was Little Orphan, whatever her name is from the Search for Santa Claus.
I want to say her name is Quinn.
It is Quinn. You're right.
Yeah, but her
It's
name's
Quinn.
Caitlin
Mayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cammy in this movie.
She's the little soft voiced. She also played
Camel who is sold into slavery.
Yeah. She does have a very cute voice, but I was like, I don't want to hear it anymore.
Hey, she's the youngest ever third place winner of America's Got Talent or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. I am going to go over her entire Pup Star thing, but she will be back once again.
Oh, God.
So I am not doing it.
There was a certain point in this movie where I was like, I hope she sings a song. But she sang in all the other movies she's
She
in.
did, yeah.
She didn't sing.
They didn't.
Cammy didn't get to sing like, I spit on people sometimes.
Oh my God.
something like,
I mean,
don't know.
I was surprised because we had kept wondering if they were going to keep it musical. And they sort of tried with that like Halloween party, but this one they're like, forget it, it's out, no more songs. And then I don't think, unless I missed it, there was no Christian stuff, right?
No, I was gonna say this
Okay.
is a step back into normalcy for that.
Right.
They weren't like, God brought us together to find us.
They
Or,
even said it's the Muslim call to prayer in this movie.
Right.
That's true.
I did like.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're,
that's right.
they're like, what is this? And they explain it.
I think it's because like they were trying to, in their own twisted way,
Sure.
be respectful.
Yes.
And I actually did like. I think Buddha was probably my favorite in this movie because he did have lines like that where I was just like, oh, that's so nice. Like, like, he like respects all religions because he's Buddha.
Where Buddha in this movie heroically hypnotized Ryan Stiles by being more boring than Ryan Stiles.
Dude, Ryan Stiles was in the studio for 30 seconds.
seconds.
He probably recorded this on an iPhone, okay? Like, he was like, tss. Oh, okay.
He was like,
You are the descendants of Budasi.
Budasi.
He just comes on screen. He's like, hi, my name is Slither or whatever. Like, it's just like, oh my God.
Okay. That was a CG snake. We'll get to that later.
Maybe I'll be I can be a wise owl.
Maybe
How
I
much
could
do you
be
think
a wise
Rysels
owl.
makes for doing these things? Like, I just don't even know.
I can't even imagine. I don't want to know actually.
Yeah.
It's probably more than I would like.
Yeah.
You think like his wife's best friend is like the lady that writes these things with the
Possible.
I don't know.
or something like that?
Here's a
Yeah.
question for you. Do you think if the producers were like, Ryan Stiles, man, like we're not happy with your voice, do you think that they have some sort of like 100% money back guarantee?
Oh,
do you think like they can get their money back
I don't
from
think
him
so
if,
because
if
I
they
think
don't like the performance?
much like the kid who played Butterball, he gets paid no matter what.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? You know who does have a 100%
Who?
money back guarantee? Magic Mind.
Oh, okay.
The mental performance shot Magic Mind. If you don't like what they're selling, you can try it first. If you don't like it, money back guaranteed 100%, no questions asked. And what else, Tyler?
But they are going to like it. That's the thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
100% money back guarantee, and they are using all of these ingredients that are good for you. You're talking about the bottles.
You get to keep the bottles.
You get to keep the bottles. You don't have to send the bottles back.
Yes.
the bottles.
Yeah, if you get the subscription like what I have, it arrives every month, a cool box full of bottles. But if you decide that you don't like it, you don't even have to send that box or the bottles back.
Yeah.
You just get your money back. And also, if you're the kind of person who's super curious about knowing every ingredient that goes into this, they will provide you with certificates of analysis. No matter how many times I read that, I keep forgetting what the A stands for. Certificates of analysis to know exactly where each ingredient came from and that it was checked and safe for you and good for you.
That's right. Everything goes through rigorous testing, every single production run. And, their goal here is to make the best beverage for on the planet for creators, and they promise to do it the right way for everyone involved, even if that means going above and beyond industry standards. And, if you're unclear with what Magic Mind is because it's the first time you're hearing about it, it's like this amazing little mental performance shot. It's like in a small little bottle that you can, even take on the airplane if you want. Little green drink that gives you a little bit of focus, a little bit of energy in the morning or whenever you want to take it. You can take it with coffee, yes or no, either way. And, it's something you take every day and just kind of like helps you get your day right.
Yeah, it's been great.
And if you want to try it out for yourself, we have a special code for you right now that you can use to get 20% off of your Magic Mind. You can go right now to the website magicmind.com/sequelr. That's magicmind.com/sequelr, the word sequel and the letter R. And you can use our code sequelr20. That's sequelr20, the word sequel, the letter R, and the numbers 20 to get 20% off your order. You can do that right now.
Yeah, what a deal.
And if you do it, let us know. We want to hear what you guys think about Magic Mind. I think it's great. When I've been using it, it's tastes great, and it's a great little addition to my day. Yeah. So hope you guys get out there and try Magic Mind. All right, let's put our minds back on the desert oasis of Egypt. The only oasis that you can see that looks like there might be something there for miles around.
It's true.
Maybe that's where Cleocatra's tomb is. I don't know. Maybe you could check there without having to align the moon with an obelisk. I like how they...
Wait, that happened in this movie?
Yes.
I barely remember.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that also was a whole episode of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
I like how they align the moonlight with this obelisk, and it shines a very obvious beam of light that clearly is pointing to the oasis. And then they're still like, all right, let's do all the calculations to see where the light is pointed instead of using our fucking eyes and going outside. And they're like, oh, it's pointing southwest over at this oasis. Which, again, much like the North Pole, looks like fucking nothing around except for this one place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
As someone who has collected 999 times 2 Korok seeds, I know that there always has to be some sort of puzzle like this.
It's true.
Involving light and mirrors and...
yeah, I mean, it makes
Treasure.
sense.
I
It
miss
makes
my
sense. Makes sense for the genre,
We get the buddies getting in a hot air balloon.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh boy.
I couldn't believe it when that happened. That was crazy. This monkey's doing them wrong. He's like their friend, but also he's like stealing, and it's not cool.
It was like kind of like it got grading.
He's Hondo.
Yeah.
Oh no! Please do not insult Hondo Onaka from Hondo Transport Solutions.
I think it got grading as it went on, but I did think it was a little bit funny for part of it where he was like constantly like making things up, you know, like, oh, and then I did this, and then we see like what actually happened, and but it eventually got annoying, like maybe after the
second time it
after
happened.
the first time. But he does get to say, I took one clip of Bobby that I thought was a little bit awkward, but also funny.
B for Bobby look very nice on Bobby's hairy chest.
I'm sorry.
That's because he wants to take B-Dog's bling in order to find Peter and
Because he knows,
Indiana Jones.
And I wrote this down in Spooky Buddies, but I can't believe that they're trying to make it B-Dog's catchphrase now of like,
oh my God,
you must be hallucinatripping, dog. And like, I was like, wait, that was only since like one movie ago though, unless I missed it like previously. But I was like, that's gonna be Skylar Gisando's catchphrase now, who by the way has been demoted back to just being, B-Dog. Like they did not bring back whatever kid he was playing to take this journey.
That's true. It's too much. They were like, that's too much for the one kid. Yeah. But now is he the only one who's carried completely on so far?
I think so.
For the buddies' voices?
I think so, yes.
Because B-Dog is just too iconic.
Well, yeah, I mean,
or his voice hasn't changed.
He's the only one that's willing to do this horrible accent, I guess.
Yeah. Come on, dudes and dudettes. Yeah. B-Dog is here, y'all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we've replaced almost all of them at least once.
I think that's right.
Rosebud has had the least turnover, but other than him, so
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buddies. It was nice that I feel like the buddies get more weight in this compared to the last movie, and like you could argue that the plot of what they're even like finding has more to do with them than the humans, anyways. The humans kind of are like, huh, what's happening the whole time? Which is
when they get, I appreciate when they get to the temple that the buddies have, and this is what you need if you're doing a 5-character children's thing. Each one of the buddies has a specialty that they use at a different point to get past a certain trap or a different thing.
Yep.
And they all get to kind of step up and do the thing, which I feel like this is the best execution of that we have seen. We have seen some versions of this in the other movies, but this is actually like, oh my God, it took them, 9 movies to get to the point where it's like, awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's because they were destined to go into this.
Like Mudbud does a thing where he has to roll over the quicksand, which is actually like a pretty decent like trick to watch.
I thought it was funny when they fixed that though. It's like, oh, there's just like a platform there. Yeah. They could have just walked in the middle and it'd be fine, I guess.
And then there's like they explain the ancient Egyptian board game part of it.
Senate or whatever.
Man dies.
Yeah, I was talking to Tyler beforehand. He was like, I think this is the most family friendly one, and I was like, are you sure? Because I think this is the first time we've dealt with actual death in these films. Has anyone died? Okay, you brought it.
Yes, I did bring up that those 2 dudes are definitely still frogs.
Yeah, the guys that got turned into frogs.
In the 30s or whatever.
Yeah, and they died. Okay. They died shortly after.
They might have got stepped on by those very same people next to them.
I can't think of it.
But I feel like no one else has died.
I mean, in Snow Buddies, they definitely the other guy tried to murder a lot of
people.
He tried to murder a lot of folks.
Well, and the dogs died before like his parents, Shasta's parents died.
Oh, that's true. And I guess Talon, he
dies.
Disappeared into the sky.
Yeah.
But no one.
What were you were gonna R.I.P. Chris Christopherson?
Oh yeah, I meant to say like we've been multiple weeks now, but Chris Christopherson passed away and he voiced Talon, and I was like, oh yeah.
And then we saw the Northern Lights.
Yeah, R.I.P. Talon. That's true. Like a week later, the Northern Lights were in the United States. I just thought it was funny. Like, yeah, the more this movie went on, I was kind of like, is the main bad guy gonna die?
Yeah,
because these kind of movies, it's like usually the villain
Just goes back to their winery.
Meets
Okay, what about Quinn's parents? They didn't make it.
Yeah. I was like, usually in these kind of movies, the villain, dies in the tomb or gets stuck there forever or something. And that didn't happen to him, but some people do die.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of the animals die.
We should have seen somebody get like scarabed, like in The Mummy.
Yeah.
I don't even watch those movies that much, but that's the image that never leaves you.
Yeah. Good stuff. I don't know. Yeah, they eventually get into the tomb of Cleocatra. Oh wait, there's a whole. We learn the reason why they're going after this, and we learn the origin of man's best friend in this movie. There's this whole crazy flashback sequence of Cleopatra, waking up in the middle of the night, and I don't remember. What even had happened? She was mad that the cat was doing something.
So no, yeah, basically she was the cat was going to use the necklace to make like all men and all pets
enslave all humans.
Yeah,
right.
And
she was like, "Fuck
Vadasi, stopped it, and then she was like, "You're so amazing that we're gonna make you."
She makes dogs man best friend instead of cats, and then she's like, "Get the fuck out of here, Cleocatra." But we'll still build you a tomb.
We'll still
It's so weird that of all the ones that go back to not having the Bible, they because. Egypt is literally in the Bible, not even. Yeah. I mean, they didn't want to have any plagues or Red Sea parting or whatever.
They couldn't have been like Jesus walked right here.
Yeah. What if Butterball parted the sea with a fart or something?
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
And you're saying you don't work at Disney anymore?
I know, right? Yeah, with $1 million ideas like this.
You kind of glossed over the whole hot air balloon thing. But we get a callback to the ice cream crate.
Yeah,
as they roll down the.
That's true.
They fall out of the sky and then roll down but this one is has an open lid. It's an open lid, and you're like, no, none of the buddies died in that. Okay, all right. They're all just like sand.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The snake and the evil cats are all full CG, really bad.
Yeah.
The cats look pretty. Yeah, the cats.
No,
the cats were okay.
Full CG.
Nope.
The hairless cat was fine, but not because that was a real cat, but not the.
You mean Ubasti?
Yes, Ubasti. Not the little. I'm talking about the little. The black cats that are in the pyramid or whatever.
I did like that moment when they're like, "Oh fuck," their cat. Like Ubasti gets in there and she's like, "I think you're outnumbered."
Yeah,
and then all the cat statues in there come to life. That was kind of fun. It's a fun moment for kids.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Is it B-Dog that kind of starts turning it into a cat?
Yeah, B-Dog. He doesn't have his bling anymore, so he puts on the necklace of Cleocatra because he needs the bling. And then he starts saying meow and doesn't realize that he's saying meow. And all of the other buddies are like, "You're not yourself, buddy." And he's like, "I need my bling."
I'm not saying
I did think
meow,
it was kind of
dog.
funny when his eyes changed. That looked funny. But
and he had whiskers.
Yeah, but yeah.
There's a horrible moment where he has to cough up a hairball.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, gross.
That's it. That's it.
I don't even know. So what her plan was? She was gonna take the thing and then bring it back to being Cats are man's best friend. That's
she was gonna. Well, I mean, the reveal here is that Beef Wellington was actually not the villain of this movie. He was just a.
Well, he also
a cat.
was.
He was.
Yeah.
But that Ubasti basically scratches him in the face and is like, "Fuck you, this is mine."
Ubasti?
Ubasti and me. And then what happens is pretty quickly, Ubasti just gets turned into stone.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't
more
understand.
people turned into stone. Hunchback reference.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she puts on the necklace and everyone hears her talking to them, right?
Yeah.
They're all like, "The fuck?" So they're really confused. And then I didn't understand why it didn't work. Why did she get turned to stone?
Oh, but they explained it is that because Cleopatra. She put an enchantment on it in case any other evil cats tried to use it again.
So she was not even about giving the cats a second chance or anything. She's like, "Fuck those cats, dogs forever."
Yep.
These people just hate cats.
I'm
telling you, like even in the future, they don't have any cat movies. They have like one attempt at a cat.
No
TV
cat
show.
movies, and then if you have allergies, you're evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Let's check in on the child stars.
Let's check in on the child stars. You know what we need to do that?
Put the song in the soundboard.
I thought it was there, but it somehow got deleted.
Oh no! How dare you?
1 second.
How about you just perform it live?
Child star
check-in.
Child star check-in. Child star check-in.
Child star check. Child star checking in. Child star check-in. They're a child star. And we're checking in now.
Cool. So yes, you already talked about Nico Gisi being thrown off this movie unceremoniously, and I don't remember if I mentioned this last time when we talked about this, but he's a lawyer now. Good for him.
I wonder how bad it was. Like, I want to hear the Nico Gisi cut.
Like, do you think it was just like too low, or do you think he was like doing like a teen boy like squeaky?
Yeah, maybe he was like trying to fake it, and it sounded awkward.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would just be very curious to be like, was it really that bad?
Yeah.
Because the new kid, I thought was.
So replacing him is Tucker Albreze, who played Bartleby in the last movie, Spooky Buddies only.
Breezy Bartleby?
So he was dressed up as like a superhero in the Trick or Treat.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like a ginger, kind of chubby
Okay.
kid because Butterball's owner has to also be, I don't know.
Oh, of course.
Eat food or whatever, yeah.
Well, he does live at the winery,
That's
allegedly.
True. He is most known for playing students eternally in both many episodes of Mr. Iglesias and AP Bio.
Oh.
Okay.
Mason Cook, who's Pete in this movie, the main kid, he was like the main character of Speechless. I mean, not the kid who couldn't talk, but the brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he, had a pretty successful sitcom for like 3 years. And he was in that movie Plan B that recently came out. And then he was in Justin's favorite movie of all time, Lone Ranger.
Oh,
No.
I was like, it couldn't be Goonies.
No, I wouldn't be joking. I wouldn't joke about that. No, Lone Ranger. I don't know who he was.
I can't even watch that movie anymore.
I know.
Is there
So
even a kid in Lone
up.
Ranger?
Yeah, no, he's probably the kid at the beginning is like, never take off the mask.
Oh, yeah. You're probably right.
All right.
Because I also enjoyed that movie
It was
and remember
so
too much about it.
good.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp and Armie
There's
Hammer of all
lots of,
people.
I know. That's why
my God.
you got to watch it in secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
boy.
want to watch the train part.
You have to put the mask on to watch the movie.
So no one will know it's you.
That's a deep cut. It's a deep cut.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Rania Jabber played.
That's not a real name.
Yes, it is.
I'm kidding.
You're being racist. It's Farah in this movie, the little girl.
Oh, okay, great.
The Bedouins.
She was nice, yeah.
Yeah, so she was actually, born and raised here in Arcadia, California.
Oh, cool.
But, they flew her out to Vancouver for the movie. And then I'm not quite sure where she went to school, but she's now like actually very successful, seems like, director of commercials and music videos in Saudi Arabia. So I don't know if she is of Saudi Arabian descent, but she lives there now, and she's made a bunch of like really cool looking commercials.
Cool.
Like I actually went and looked at her website, and I was like, oh, these are like really stylish.
Nice.
So yeah, she's very talented and a director now. And then Charles Henry Wyson, who was voicing Buddha both in Spooky Buddies and in this one in Treasure Buddies. He is most known for this and for playing 5-year-old John Locke.
Oh.
Which I don't even remember what the hell 5-year-old John Locke did, honestly. Like, other than get left by his dad or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
His mom was like, I don't know. I don't even remember. Yeah, but yeah, his dad was this creepy guy from Newsies. Yeah, and so 5-year-old John Locke, Charles Henry Wyson was our Buddha.
Nice.
And he is now a up-and-coming director and cinematographer of short films.
Oh, all right. Sweet.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna keep Skylar. We're keeping
Oh,
Gene
wow.
and Alias. We're keeping
So
a
he
few
makes
other
it
people.
all the way through. That's impressive.
He
You don't
leaves.
know that. There's still 2 more movies.
He leaves
but
the Buddies franchise
I feel
just to
like-
start making Righteous Gemstones.
I feel like the next movie probably doesn't have the buddies, from what I would guess. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Haven't seen it.
I don't even know what the next Buddies is.
You're gonna find out soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you
that's
guys? Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. So back to Treasure Buddies,
Yeah.
the movie, not the children. What did you guys think of the sword fight sequence at the end? Did you like how
I thought it was some of the funniest cutting away to a stunt performer I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, look at that guy who's like 30 years younger all of a sudden. Yeah, that was pretty great. Pretty funny. Richard Reel stunt double. I kept waiting for the Bedouin guy to use that awesome sword that he had too. That kind of looked like the White Ranger sword or something. But he never did. He kept like showing it like I can fuck you up with this.
Yeah.
But then he never did.
Yeah, when he was like, I was on the fencing team at Oxford, and I expected like a decent comeback for that, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah, he was kind of like, who gives a shit? I've got an ancient Egyptian sword.
That's even cool. That's cooler than what he does.
He does kind of go like, all right.
He's like, that's bad.
I'm still gonna fight you. I'm gonna try at least.
By the way, this movie did not kill Edward Herrmann, but it came pretty close.
Yeah.
Because he died in 2014.
Oh shit.
He did a few more movies, like pretty prominent, like Wolf of Wall Street and a few more roles. But he died 2 years after this.
Hopefully he didn't have any brain trauma from getting hit with that, from that kid hitting him in the head on this movie. That was funny when he was like, "Is that all you got?" And he's like, "No, he's got this too." Concussion. So we find out that the main guy from the lead guy from the Bedouins was actually part of the Egyptian government.
Yep. The
And-
Egyptian Secret Service.
Everyone decides that those guys are heroes, but also don't forget the bodies. They did a lot, even though I don't think anyone would know that.
Yeah.
How would they know?
Well, if they all heard the cat talking, maybe they knew the buddies somehow thwarted.
I get. Oh yeah, I suppose. No one was like. No one. I don't think anyone once was like, "How the fuck are you guys even in here? How? There is a cool little slide moment that you remember we had in the wine country, that part where they slid down that tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a fun callback to that where they
did.
slid down a thing in the tomb. Yeah. But the only thing they want is for them to be able to reopen the museum.
Which is like, there's just a throwaway line where he's just like, and it saved the museum from closing, and it's like, why? Why did it do that?
8 people in this town. You don't need to have a whole museum.
Did anyone else for a split second think like when they revealed what was under the sheet that I was like, oh fuck, they cut the cat's head off and put it on display? Because it was like it was
a model of the.
It was bigger than
I thought it was going to be Salem the cat.
I actually thought that maybe I thought it was going to literally be just like they brought the whole frozen statue of the cat there.
Yeah.
But it was like a new thing they built or whatever. I just thought it was funny that it looked like they cut her head off kind of.
Yeah.
Poor Ubasti.
But then, okay, you get the end of the movie. They didn't hire any of the other kids for this, so we don't even see anybody reunite with their dog.
Nope.
And then you just get this like button scene that just ruins all of it. Like,
There was
complete garbage.
There's a moment at the end where I was like, oh my god, are they like trying to do a setup for a sequel? Because they're all like, all right, now everything's locked down. No one can touch this.
They say no man.
No
No
man.
man can kill me.
Human can get through.
I am no man.
Yeah.
I am no man.
No human could get through this many lasers.
Yeah, so they made it seem like the cat was gonna come to life or something, or somehow, yeah.
But no, it's Babu.
Because even I think don't the eyes glow on the thing
Yeah.
too, but then it's just Babu.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby gets there and somehow this whole frame story, he is telling it after the fact and has made it back to Egypt.
Yeah, and he's got the necklace, so it's like, what the fuck? So now
So what? The museum went out of business like 2 days later.
they're like, yeah, they open it up the next day, like, oh, everyone wants to come see it, and it's like, what the fuck? It's already gone.
He's arrested by the Egyptian government.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yes, his nephew's got to go back to organ grinding school.
I did
we
think that
never
was
should have
funny.
left the country. Why would we bring it to this dumbass fucking museum?
His nephew was like, I'm done with this fucking shit. All you're doing is lying. I just want to go back to the boring place I was before.
Organ grind.
Organ grinding school.
That's so stupid.
Or you can make popcorn at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many crescent moon obelisks would you give this movie?
Crescent Moon Obelisk. I'm gonna go up to 2 on this one because I think it was like slightly better than last week's.
Okay.
But I still thought it was bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 3. I think that's what I gave Spooky. And
Okay, you need to catch up. Your
I know.
frame of reference is so off right now compared to me and Justin. Like, we're normally all pretty. I mean, the fact that you didn't watch those 2 movies is like effing you up.
The ones with Santa?
Yeah, and you absolutely must watch them before next
will.
week.
I
I'm
will.
not even
I will.
kidding.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah,
I will.
You
I
have
will.
to for continuity's sake.
yeah.
So I just didn't think I didn't think that I thought it was better than last week's, but I can't go higher than I did last week. So.
Right. I don't even remember what I said last week, so I think I'm going to call it a wash and give it 2. I kind of wanted to go down to 1, but then in the end, I'm like, it did do a lot of the things that we were asking for, like stopping the Jesus talk,
Yep.
not trying to force a musical into there, less kids, more buddies.
Yep.
So, I mean, I could have done no monkeys, no camels, no cats, but like in the end of the day, we don't all get everything we
Caitlin
wish
Mayer
for.
would be cool too, maybe.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
how
I'm kidding.
mean.
It's a joke.
Anyway,
We liked a kid.
yeah.
About
so
kids.
yeah, I'm gonna give it 2 obelisks illuminated by the moon or whatever.
All right. Hey, it's not terrible. I still don't think I would. Well,
And honestly, like it's only like mildly casually racist in the
Yeah.
way that sort of all society still is about Egypt
Yeah.
and everything Egyptian, and it's like you can't lay it on the buddies to solve that.
That's true.
Especially not in 2012.
but we can here on this podcast.
Right, and the fact that they did, at least somewhat tried. Like, it's not like they were calling them sand people or something.
Right.
Like they were just like
would be so
Tuscan
fucked up.
Raiders or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're
So
the-
fucked up.
this is the Bedouin people. This is a real,
Yeah.
tribe that existed, and
I
they
do
still
think-
exist. And yeah, like
I do think that if
Boba
this,
Fett leads them.
if if kids watch this movie and get some like very extreme basic information about how these people might be or lived, and then it would make them more interested in like learning more. Maybe?
yeah, or
I
about
don't know.
meteorology, or I don't know.
and I do
Or
think
even
about
Egyptian history. I don't know.
yeah, I think about I was super into Egypt as a kid.
Yeah, I
and-
think because in school they teach it like the same way that they teach
Yeah.
like Greek mythology and
Yeah.
Roman mythology, and then one time you have the Egypt.
But like
you
I
know.
imagine that there's probably some horribly misguided books or things that got me curious about it,
Sure.
and certainly like broad strokes for kids. If it gets them excited and into it, then it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been worse. That's for sure.
Yeah.
As
Oh
far as
my
the
God,
racism
yeah.
stuff goes.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's even an improvement on some of the last few that we've had. But
Yeah.
like, we.
It was
cannot
one
put
cutaway
it all on
it was
the
one
buddies.
cutaway to Mexico.
Yeah, we cannot put it all on the buddies to solve this problem back in 2012. You
That's
know,
right.
like I don't know.
True.
So
They're just dogs, you guys.
yeah.
They're just dogs.
Oh, I do want to mention too before we move on, because this is like bothering me more and more every movie. Like at first, I was happy that they were like, "Oh, Rosebud's like so capable, even though she's the only sister." In this movie, I think they took the time like 3 or 4 times to stop and say like, "Don't underestimate her because she's a girl. She's feisty. Like she's more tougher than you think, guys. Don't look at her pink bow." And I'm just like, okay, you're doing too much now, and it's like it's a very, to me, like very late 80s, early 90s kind of like girls, yay, like thing, where instead of like giving her actual like dimension and like a set of like set skills that she can like use and be just as capable of her brothers, they still kind of like lean back on like, oh, she likes shopping, she only cares about fashion, but hey guys, don't underestimate her. And because we said that, it's okay.
I mean, and her skill is actually like, hey, like I can read the board game and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, she's always been a little bit smarter than them or whatever,
Yeah.
but I just think that like that doesn't make it okay if you never add to it for now, like almost 7, 8 movies now. And then you just keep coming back to it and being like, it's fine because we mentioned she's the only girl, our little sis.
I could have used this movie cutting back to her owner not being able to dress herself. Like, it has to be a disaster at all of these adventures where you're just like, I'm out.
They did also have that whole awkward moment where they're like, ooh, we don't want to, the tomb looks pretty scary. I don't know. I think ladies first, and like make her go in front of everyone. Like, yeah.
Whatever.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I hope she gets more to do, maybe.
Treasure Buddies,
Someday.
sadly not about pirates.
Yep.
I think they could have done it. And it would have been, you would have dodged all the potential racist things, pretty much.
I mean, they probably would have found a way.
They would have found a way.
They would have been like, this ship's going to the island of Jamaica.
Yeah, they would have
Come
been like,
on.
yes, 100%. Get on the ship, man. Yeah. Oh, God damn.
Now we're doing it.
Now we're doing it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry,
No,
sorry.
We're only doing it to imitate the buddies doing
The
it.
dogs talk like that, okay? They do. They do watch the movies. All right. I think that's going to bring us to the end of our torturous review of Treasure Buddies. There's only 2 left. We only have 2 left.
Thank fuck.
And we don't know anything about what they're going to be like, but
We have some idea.
Tis the season.
the next one is a sequel within a sequel.
Oh, God.
We've got Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know what I mean, this is going to be it seems like it's a direct sequel to The Search for Santa Paws, which itself was it was a prequel.
It was a prequel sequel.
Things are
so
getting
now we've got a
complicated.
sequel to a prequel within a line of sequels.
Do you think this one is still going to be before Santa Buddies or after Santa Buddies now?
Oh my God. I mean, it's got to be
Tyler, you could take a nap for
after?
this. Yeah.
Otherwise, because like, if there's a bunch of Santa pups, what did they all
Where did they
die
go?
before we had puppy paws? Like,
Well,
what-
that's a good question because only Puppy Paws is there for
I
Santa
know.
Buddies.
So what happens to all of them?
So maybe they do die.
They turn into
They
dark elves.
die of the same Snow Buddies thing that the
Oh God, no,
the real dogs die.
Parvo? Oh my God. No, I think maybe I'm gonna.
The Christmas
actually, we
icicle
never
falls
even saw
on
who
3 of them.
Mrs. Santa Paws even was.
Oh,
Who-
yeah.
Maybe there's no mom, then they just sort of like appear, like the stork
We're
brings
back
them or
to
whatever.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
my
there still,
God.
but there will
let's
still
just
have
see
to
what
be a
happens.
female dog.
I can't even think about it.
It's gonna be. You know what? The other dog. Okay, Tyler. The other dog was brought to life as a stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's true. they don't need a
So
woman.
these dogs could also just be
They don't
stuffed
need
animals.
a female. Oh yeah.
Okay. See, I'm spoiling.
Wait, do you
things
think we're
for
gonna see those adopted orphans again?
Yes.
They didn't make
it.
But they're gonna get to go to the North Pole or something in this one.
Ooh,
And Richard Reel will probably still be Santa. I guess.
Oh God.
If he's back in, these movies come out the same year, so
Oh right. Okay.
if he was back for Treasure Buddies, he's probably gonna be
I
Santa.
hope he shot them on the same day. Mornings were adventurer, evenings were Santa.
Maybe.
Could
so
be.
yes, Tyler, you absolutely must watch the 2
Okay.
Santa Paws movies
All
before
right.
next week.
God damn.
Yeah, sorry.
2 movies left, 5 left for me.
Yeah. Well, that's your own fault.
That's true. That's true.
No,
Well-
it's still only 4.
I feel like 5.
Math.
Well, yeah. So when we return, it will be the holiday season once again for Santa Paws 2, the Santa Pups. But in the meantime, Eliz, where can people reach out?
Send us your Christmas wish list. Even though we will not be fulfilling any of it, to sequelrights@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And rate and review us wherever you're listening. 5 stars goes a long way to help other people find this podcast. And the reason that you want to give us 5 stars is because we didn't even talk to you about the camel buggers in this movie.
That was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Pretty gross. It looked real gross. But yeah, so thanks for being here with us this week. And in the meantime, before we leave, we have to obviously play an AI generated song for you. Obviously. I mean, come on.
Obviously.
So I don't know. I was like struggling to figure out what to do with this one, but I I thought it was really funny the way Edward Herrmann said "Ubasti" all the time, and he had kind of this like sing-songy voice that he did it with his accent and everything. And so I used another feature that Suno has where you can upload some audio and then it'll make a song, or it'll continue a song from that. So I kind of like made this supercut of him saying "Ubasti, Ubasti, Ubasti," and then it made a song from that, and it almost like, I didn't tell it to do this, but it kind of made it sound like he was singing the song, which is
May he rest in
which
peace.
is really kind of funny and weird. So here's a whole song. I think the song actually is called Queen of the Shadows Ubasti Song. I just told the AI to like create a song about Ubasti, the character from Treasure Buddies, the movie. And here it is. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys next time for Santa Paws 2.
Is
Is that right? What's it called? Santa Paws.
Santa Paws 2, the Santa Pups?
Yes,
Is that
there's
right?
too many words. Santa Paws 2, the Santa Pups. Okay, that's it. Christmas is here. Again.
What is it, Ubasti? What? No, Ubasti, come back here. Ubasti? 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 You found it, Ubasti. Bring it to me. Kitty, 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 kitty. Ow! Ubasti. Ubasti? Queen of the shadows, ruler of the night. Feel my claws, feel my might. With a heart of stone and a power untold, I'll rise again, reclaim my gold. Oh, and you're bounded. In the land of golden sands, where the pharaohs once ruled, a legend of the ancient past, in darkness is fueled. Eyes glowing bright like a desert fire, a queen reborn with a wicked desire. I roam the night unseen and sly, in the tombs of the kings where the secrets lie. With a heart of stone and a power untold, I'll rise again, reclaim my gold. I'm Ubasti, queen of the shadows, ruler of the night. Feel my claws, feel my might. With a curse that lasts through tomorrow, no one escapes from the cat of endless fight. I'm the phantom of the sand, with the power in my hand. Ubasti I command. The treasure of the pharaohs is mine to guard. No pup or hero can make it far. I've waited long in this ancient tomb for the moment to unleash my doom. Through the sands I slink and scheme, with the power in my hand. Ubasti I command. The treasure of the pharaohs is mine to guard. No pop or hero can make it far. I've waited long in this ancient tomb for the moment to unleash my doom. Through the sands I slink and scheme, a twisted ruler of a forgotten dream. Beware the eyes of the cat you see, for once you're caught, you'll never be free. I'm Ubasti, queen of the shadows, ruler of the night. Feel my claws, feel my might. With a curse that lasts through tomorrow, no one escapes from the cap of endless fight. I'm the phantom of the sand, with the power in my hand. Ubasti I command. The wind whispers tales of my return. As the sun sets, the fire will burn. No one escapes the curse I bring, for I am the one to desert. Feel my claws, feel my mind. With a curse that lasts through tomorrow, no one escapes from the camp of endless pride. I'm the phantom of the sand, with the power in my hand. You Basti, I command. From the darkness I rise, with vengeance in my eyes. I am you Basti, beware my cry.